In my hands today, I have the all-new Titleist T-Series irons. Now in this video, I'm going to give you all the information you need on these brand new designs. I'm going to let you know how I got on after testing them here at Gleneagles, let you know which one's the best fit for me, but also which one might be the best fit for your game. I'll just give you everything you need to know about these stunning looking irons. First off though, if you're new to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button below, give us a thumbs up if you enjoy this video. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. First off, let's get started with the T100. It's replacing the old T100, and as you can see, we've got a bit of an upgrade in terms of the looks, in my opinion. It just looks a wee bit more like a proper, clean, classic tour iron, in my opinion. This new version, you know, don't get me wrong, that original T100, really great looking iron, but just in terms of the shelf appeal, we've got a new sort of, I think it's a brushed steel finish. It just looks a bit more like the MB and the CB models, so an absolutely stunning looking design in my view. Also, we have some subtle changes in the sort of looks down behind the ball. We've got a little bit less offset, top line just a little bit thinner as well. It again just looks a little bit more like a player's iron, and that comes from the feedback that Titleist was getting mainly from its Tour Pros. This will be, no doubt about it, the most played iron on the PGA Tour. It will take over from the old T100. And if you were just to look at it, pick up off the shelf, you would probably think it's just a, you know, a muscle cavity. It's going to be fairly hard to hit, might not offer much in terms of forgiveness, but under the hood of this iron, we've got a lot going on. First off, let's mention the tungsten weighting. We have an abundance of tungsten in the heel and toe sections of this iron. Titleist have actually used a new type of tungsten, they're calling it D18. That will mean absolutely nothing to you, but it's denser than the previous version. So basically, they're able to get more tungsten weighting within the head. I think it's about a third of this head. This small player's iron is made up of tungsten weighting. What's that going to do? It's going to help you get your launch a little bit higher. It's going to help with the forgiveness, just consistency of this thing. So despite its small, compact, really good looking package, it's going to offer the kind of performance, you know, that me as a sort of low single figure golfer, and even up to higher single figure players, better players, it's going to give you that added level of forgiveness that the likes of the MB and the CB just could not deliver. Now we also have a SUP10 face, so spring steel basically, and that is where this iron gets that little bit of additional ball speed again over the MB and CB models. And yeah, I think my main takeaway is the looks. It looks sensational. Some really nice improvements. It's very clean, very classic. Down behind the ball looks just joyous. It's so great to look at for me, someone who likes a traditional looking iron. But importantly, under the hood of this iron, we have the tungsten weighting. You know, we have that fast SUP10 face, so you're going to get that little bit more ball speed. It's just going to give you added performance benefits, despite the fact it looks so good. Now for the T100S, and if it wasn't for that red S there, you'd probably think it was just the same iron I was holding. But this has been designed, it's been engineered with 2 degrees stronger lofts. The reason being, this iron is for those who want a little bit of added distance while retaining the looks, feel and control of that forged tour ready iron. Now, they say they've engineered it to be 2 degrees stronger loft. They haven't just cranked the lofts. The design is a little bit different. We have a little bit more tungsten weighting to drive the CG low, and that's why they've then been able to bring that loft stronger. So it's still going to give you the kind of launch conditions and the landing angles that you would expect of a 7 iron, but importantly, just that little bit more speed. So should see, I don't know, for me, I was getting about 5 to 8 yards more distance with the T100S over the T100. Now, you may also notice that we have this section here, which Titleist is labelling its muscle channel. So that's how they've been able to take weight out. They've saved about, I think it's about 10 grams from taking out this section here in the back bar, and then they've added more tungsten so they can shift that CG location. You can see it's kind of filled in with a polymer on the back of the iron there. And yeah, this is, as I say, it's again, those of you who want feel, precision, control, but importantly, a little bit more distance, a little bit more speed. Now onto the Titleist T200, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of difference between it and the model it's replacing. It's a brand new construction. Titleist are labelling it their most advanced iron design ever, and it'll be the one that's probably going to fit most of you watching this. It's going to be a great fit for everywhere, you know, low single figure golfers into the teens and maybe even low 20s in the handicap spectrum. And that's because it's a player's distance iron that's just packed with technology. It's a multi-material design, and it's going to give you the kind of feel, control, precision you would want and expect of a player's iron, of a Titleist player's iron, but crucially give you more help, more distance and more forgiveness. So the head is absolutely packed with technology. We've got a new Max Impact chassis and Max Impact 2.0 technology, and that is something that helps to give this iron a level of soft, crisp feel that you maybe wouldn't expect with something with so much technology. Again, we have that D18 tungsten weighting, so a denser version of tungsten weighting, which allows them to drive the CG lower, put more weight out to the perimeter, try and make this thing more forgiving. Now, another big advancement is the new muscle plate. Now, if you were to pick this club out the bag, you would think it was made of metal, made of steel. The face, it's a forged face made from SUP10 steel, but this back section here, this plate, it's actually made from a polymer. You can maybe hear when I flick it, it's got that more plasticky sound as opposed to the face, which is more metallic. And the reason why we have this is that, you know, it allowed Titleist to save weight, take it out of this back section where they don't really need it, and then relocate it where they do. And the tungsten weighting, low down, give you the performance you want. They also have ribs within this polymer section on the reverse side, you know, inside the head, which again they say helps fine tune the sound and feel of this iron, so that, you know, despite the fact that it is absolutely packed with technology, there's so much going on within this head, it should still sound and feel nice, should feel nice and crisp. Now for the T300, the out-and-out game improvement iron within the lineup. If you are looking for high launching, powerful, forgiving iron shots, this is going to be the one for you. Again, we've got some pretty noticeable improvements over the last iteration. First off, in the looks department, I just think it looks that little bit sharper. You know, there's a little bit less going on in the overall design. Just looks really smart in my opinion. Also, as is always the case with Titleist game improvement irons, it's on the sort of sleek, compact size for something in this category. You know, you don't think that something as good looking as this down behind the bolt is going to offer quite as much forgiveness, but it really does. And again, it's thanks to improvements on the tech side of things. We've got 40% more tungsten weighting than the previous edition. We have new Max Impact technology. Now let me get this right, a cantilever core support structure is used within this head just to improve that Max Impact technology. We also have variable face thickness technology, so something you're probably more used to seeing in drivers or fairway woods. It just means that they've thinned the face out towards the heel section a little bit where it's not able to flex as much, just so that you're going to get more consistent speeds across the entire face. And yeah, they've just worked on getting the CG location where they want to try and make this thing as user-friendly as possible while still retaining decent feel and the kind of looks you expect of a Titleist game improvement iron. So I went through a fitting this morning with one of Titleist's fitters, Graham, and we just went through all the models just to see the differences, and there wasn't really any surprises in terms of the sort of speed I was getting, the launch conditions, the spin, but crucially, you know, they were all performing as 7-irons should. You know, the land angles, as you can see, are all very similar, if not pretty much the exact same. Spin-wise, what I really noticed, especially with the T300 and T200, is that I'm retaining really good spin numbers. Now, generally for something in that game improvement or player's distance iron category, you can see the spin drop down. The speed goes up, the spin drops down, and that's how you're getting some added distance. But thankfully, for me anyway, I'm someone who really looks for control. Those spin rates are a little bit more where I would like to see, around about at 6,000 mark, even for something in the game improvement iron category. And you know, that's important, that's what you're looking for, control. Now when it came to the one that fit me best, I was actually a little bit surprised to see that it was the T100S that was, you know, giving me what I wanted really. Now I'm someone who's pretty much always played a split set of blades and cavity backs. I go with traditional lofts, traditional designs, but I think I'm now getting to the stage I need to leave my ego behind and realise that I need a little bit more help. I'm struggling at the moment with my launch conditions. I'm just getting a wee bit, you know, I'm just launching the ball too high in the air. So the stronger loft of that T100S was really working well for me. It was giving me the kind of launch angle spins, but crucially the control and distance I still like to see. It was roughly about 6 to 7 yards longer on average when compared with the T100, which is, you know, it's ideal. A little bit more distance, a little bit more consistency, really good for me. Both the T100 and T100S, you know, they just feel superb, cut through the turf so well. We actually have a new variable bounce design, so the team at Titleist, they worked with the team from Vokey. You know, they went to the Vokey department who just, you know, they spend day in, day out working on turf interaction, bounce, sole grinds. So they went there to try and improve that, and that's something that really stood out as well. Both of them just cut through the turf with real ease. Now, the same can be said as well for T200 and T300. Felt really nice through the turf, you know, good solid performers. And yeah, for me, there wasn't too great a difference in terms of performance of T100S and T200. I think if you're in terms of distance, but forgiveness wise, T200 will certainly pip the 100S. And then T300, just game improvement performance, the numbers, the kind of speed you're getting, the launch, the forgiveness, it's just, yeah, it's going to do exactly what you need it to do. So really, I'm not surprised. You know, the T-Series before 2 years ago, really solid performers, and the fact that Titleist have worked so hard to try and get subtle improvements across the board, it shows up out on the range, and when I'm getting fitted, the numbers, yeah, just absolutely awesome across the board. So if you have any questions about the new T-Series lineup, then just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and thank you very much for watching.